So it's February. You know what that means. We're going to have some White House news coming soon. I cannot believe we're still going to the White House after everything that's come out lately about Donald Trump. If you know, you know. If you don't, where the fuck have you been? Under a rock? Under a rock? Anyway. Dana White said that they were going to start putting matches together in February. So we should have some fight news end of this month, maybe in March. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye out. And obviously, as always, when Dana White goes live to announce these fights, all right, we will be streaming it on the channel as we do every announcement. So make sure that you're there for that when that does happen. But we've got a few things to talk about. Topuria Gaethje is 90% going to happen on the White House card. I got mixed feelings whether they're going to do it or not, and I'll give you my reasons why. There will reportedly be 6 or 7 fights on the White House card. People have got mixed feelings about this. I don't really mind it as long as it's like the quality of fights are really, really good. We'll get to that as well. Michael Chandler's calling to fight Max Holloway for the BMF belt at the White House. Dude just doesn't know when to quit. And then finally, no Russian fighters allowed. Very, very strange from Donald Trump considering he's got a good relationship with Vladimir Putin. I don't know why he's banning Russians. Because I know he wouldn't ban Jean Silva or Michelle Pierre, if you know, you know. But anyway, we'll start off down here. So, Topuria versus Gaethje. 90% going to happen per this guy. He's quite reliable. Okay, so he's a pretty reliable source by all accounts. I don't know whether they will or should do this. Because Ilia Topuria did say a while ago that if Gaethje wins the lightweight interim title, that they have different plans for him. But now apparently they're gonna make this fight. So although it would be a great fight because I mean it should be a round 1 KO in dominating fashion, I don't know if Donald Trump wants a main event where the American gets flatlined inside the first round on the anniversary of America. You know, the 250th anniversary of America, and you're going to have your American champion get flatlined in the first round by some Georgian guy. I don't think the casuals are going to like that. I don't think the elites are going to like that. But if they do make this happen, rest in peace, Gaethje. I mean, this is just a complete mismatch. I thought they were going to do Gaethje versus Arman and maybe do Ilia versus Islam. But now there's no Russians on the card, and we'll get to that when we get there. So maybe they are going to do this. Or maybe they'll I just don't know. I don't know. But apparently 90% going to happen. Obviously, Topuria is going to win this fight. Gaethje literally stands no chance at all. I don't see any path to victory for Justin Gaethje unless Ilia Topuria has developed a weak chin since his fight against Charles, which I doubt because, as we saw in that fight, Charles landed a really nice elbow square on Ilia's chin and he just ate it like it was nothing. So I don't think Gaethje wins this fight at all. It's going to be a disappointing retirement for Gaethje. Although the only 2-time interim champion, all right, but he'll never touch that undisputed belt. Kind of sad. Moving on to this, 6 or 7 fights on the White House card. So I made a list of what I think would be on the card, potentially. I can see them doing 3 title fights, maybe 4 title fights, if they really wanted to. I think they're going to do Ilia versus Gaethje, because it's 90% going to happen. Alex versus Cyril Gane, because Thomas Spinell's going for eye surgery, and it looks like he's going to be out for like 8 months-ish. I saw something online today. He's going to be out for a very long time. Alex versus Gane for the interim belt. All right. Kayla versus Amanda Nunes. All right. I think that they're going to do that. I saw a clip of Michael Morales talking about that he's in talks to fight JDM in June. I think that'll be on the card. Conor McGregor looks dead serious on returning. Maybe him versus Rufy. Maybe might be on the card. Because Rufy has also mentioned that there's talks of that happening. And I would not be surprised if they wanted to do 4 title fights, if they just said, fuck it, Chandler versus Max for BMF. Because Dana White has said, we love Chandler, all right? We love Michael Chandler. He's a great guy. We really do like him. So I can see Chandler getting his wish. Another fight up the rankings for another belt. The privilege is unbelievable, but I can really see that happening. So that they can say four title fights on the card, and that way they're only using 2 undisputed champions, all right, out of the whole roster, and they can save the other undisputed champions, especially the Russian ones, for cards later on in the year. Because they weren't going to do... I don't think that they're going to do all title fights because, you got Petr Yan, Islam, Chimaev. That's 3 people that aren't going to be fighting on this card. And I know Hamzat's not Russian, right? But it's Russian links, with Kadyrov and shit like that. So I don't think that I think he counts as not to be on the card. So outside of that, what have you got? Volk's just won. I mean, he could do a turn. He could turn around maybe, but if Movzar beats Lerone, then he's not going to be on the card. You got Joshua Van. He could be on the card, I guess, but I don't know, man. I think they're going to do 3 title fights, maybe 4 if you chuck a BMF belt on there. Alex Garm, not Paddy, Ilia Gaethje, Amanda versus Kayla, all right, Max versus Chandler, Conor Rufi, JDM Morales. That's 6 fights. I reckon that's a banger card. And some people have... I've seen some people say... Is this going to center? Is this going to center it? No, I guess I'll do it. I've seen some people online complain and say, oh, only 7 fights? Only 6 fights? Oh, what? You have to understand, right? You have to understand. They are going to put together, hopefully, the best main card we've seen in a very long time, ever, probably. I don't think that they're going to put on... They were never going to do early prelims main card. It was just going to be a one-off main card always. The elites don't care. Fans aren't going to this event. It is the rich elites that get invitations. They don't care about prelim fighters. To be fair, they don't even care about main card fighters. They're going to go because they're invited. So they're not going to go on the early prelims, right? Or the prelims to watch fucking, I don't know, fucking Drew Dober fight. You know what I mean? Or Bobby Green fight, alright? They're not going to do that shit. Alright, they are going to have one main card, stack it top to bottom with big names and great fights, and that's what we're going to have. And I don't mind that as a one-off. Quality over quantity wins every time. We could have, this way, the whole show isn't going to be 8 hours long. It won't be 8 hours long, which will be great. And, we can actually get some sleep over in Europe. If they start it a little bit earlier and it finishes a little bit earlier, that would be great. I don't see the point in just filling the White House card with like 12, 13 fights just for the sake of having early prelims and prelims. I say just do one solid card, 6 or 7 fights, get some big names on there. I've already given my White House card there. I think it's possible. Everyone's free, around that time. I can see them maybe putting Sean Strickland. Well, no, actually, because he doesn't want to be on there. He doesn't want to fight in front of the Epstein list, which I respect Sean Strickland for that. I'll tell you that much. All right, but I can see maybe, getting a Gene Silver on there, for representation of a certain demographic. Maybe like a Michelle Piera. Nah, I'm joking. That's my card anyway. That's my 6-fight card that I think is very doable for the White House. All banger fights, all big names. All right. Not a single fight on that card will not be boring, except maybe the women's fight. But other than that, bangers. 4 title fights, 2 great fights. You know, just before. I can see them putting Conor as the main event, despite not being a title holder. I can see that also happening. But I don't mind this, man. I really don't mind this. People are just like, I don't know. They want quantity over quality. I don't really get it. If we get 6 or 7 banger fights, I'll take that over mid prelims. And then we move on to this, Michael Chandler. As I was saying, now I think they could do this fight for Michael Chandler. But the thing is that he doesn't fucking deserve it. If Max beats Charles, he's ranked what, number 3 in the division. If Chandler beats, I don't think he does, but let's just say Chandler beats Max Holloway. He's been gifted a top 5 opponent and a number 3 spot. He's next in line for a title shot after Gaethje. He'd be next in line for a title shot, man. What the fuck's that about? He'd be next in line. Well, let's not give him a title elimination bout after losing fucking, 5 out of his 7 UFC fights? I think he's 2-5 in the UFC. Why would we reward him with another top 5 high-ranked guy for a belt? Alright, no. Fuck off. But I can see them doing it because they like Michael Chandler and he's a patriotic American. I wouldn't surprise me, but we're going to see what Michael Chandler says about the matchup and we'll react to it.
Holloway versus Oliveira at UFC 326, this BMF title fight. Who do you think leaves with that BMF belt?
I got my eye on that one, man, because I think Max gets the win. I do. I think Max gets the win. I think Oliveira is coming off of a pretty devastating knockout and turned around real quick, jumped into another training camp. And, you know, I got my eyes set on that BMF belt, you know, if Max wins. So we'll see. It is his.
I mean, look, if Charles beats Max, which I don't think he does, but if Charles does beat Max, Chandler literally has no White House hopes. Because they are not going to book Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira 3 after Charles has already beat him convincingly twice. It's not going to happen. So Michael Chandler's praying for a Max Holloway win. And to be honest, would I be interested in seeing Holloway versus Chandler? I'm not going to lie and say no. Because that fight sounds really, really fun. That sounds like a really fun fight. But does he deserve it? No, I want to see Michael Chandler fight an unranked guy. He's not even in the top 10 anymore. He needs to defend his fucking ranking because he keeps losing all the time. He needs to defend his ranking. But would I be interested in seeing that fight? Yeah, of course I would, man. One-off White House card. It's not for a real belt. You know, the BMF belt's not a real belt. Max got knocked out by Ilia and he kept the BMF belt. It's a gimmicky WWE belt. Who cares? White House. Let's just go all out for this one, boys. All right? But he doesn't deserve it at all. I'd rather see Max fight like... honestly, Max versus Paddy would be decent. I know Paddy's just lost to Gaethje. But he's still in that top 5 mix, you know. See if he can... I don't think he beats Max. No way does he beat Max. But maybe Paddy versus Max at the White House. Paddy's a big name. You know? Max is a big name. Be an interesting fight. I can see that also happening. You could probably take out Chandler, put Paddy in there against Max for the BMF. But is Paddy really a BMF? Does he fit the criteria as for a BMF? I mean, he had a BMF scrap with Gaethje, so maybe, but I don't know, man. I could just see the UFC giving Chandler another high-ranked guy and just saying, fuck it, there you go. There you go, Chandler. Have another bone. You know, have another fucking high-ranked guy. Have another super fight, Chandler. Why not have another super fight? Because that's all you fucking had in the UFC is just like super fights and big names. Don't worry about defending your ranking, bro. Just fucking go for it. I want to see him fight an unranked guy. I want to see him fight Quillen Salkeld. Or something like that. Like an up-and-coming prospect not in the rankings yet. Give him Quillen. Give him Quillen. And we'll see him get fucking beat the shit out of and knocked out, bro. I'd be happy to see that shit. Or if he does defend his ranking, then yeah, sure, give him someone again in the top 10. But right now, you ain't deserving of shit, and I'm not gonna play the rest of it because he just talks about how this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, blah 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 blah. Fuck off, Michael Chandler. Now, last thing I want to talk about is this: no Russians, man. I don't get this one because Trump has been open about his positive relationship with Vladimir Putin. It's not like they're on bad terms. Like, he was on his side in the Ukraine and Russia conflict. He was on Putin's side. So to say no Russians, I don't really understand that. And let's just say that they are on bad terms. Who gives a fuck? What's that got to do with Pyotr Yan and Islam Makhachev and Hamzat Chimaev? They're not fighting. They're not fucking invading countries. You know, they're just UFC fighters, bro. Like, who gives a shit? This is where I know that. This is how I know the elites don't care about like these fighters on the card because they're like, Russians. We can't have Russians on there. Yeah, but these Russians are some of the best fighters in the company. Why don't you want to see? Well, they're boring. Islam and Hamza are boring. No, they're not. They've had one each. Look, I don't even think Islam's fight against JDM was boring. I thought it was pretty good and impressive. Hamzat's okay, bit fairs, but they're not boring fighters. They've had one performance that you could call boring, and now everyone goes, "Oh, they're fucking boring and shit." No, they're not. And even Pyotr Yan, he's not boring. He's so good. What do they have to do with the Russian fucking politics? Like, you know, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. I don't get this decision, man. It's really kind of strange. It's quite annoying though as well because we could have had Ilia versus Islam at the White House. We could have had Pyotr Yan versus Marab at the White House. 2 super fights, man. Like 2 great fights. But no. We could have had 6 title fights, man. We could have had Ilia for fucking Ilia versus Makhachev. Garn versus Alex. Maybe Arman versus Gaethje. Amanda versus Kayla. No, Amanda versus Kayla. BMF belt. Yan versus fucking Marab. And you've got a stacked card full of champions that, you know, you've also got champions spare, I guess, you know, for later on. Or you just do another month without any pay-per-views or numbered cards, but you've stacked this card top to bottom. That could have been quite cool, but no Russians allowed. I don't understand this from Donald Trump. Like, he's okay to go to Epstein Island and do what he does, but God forbid we have Russians on the White House. You know? You know, Epstein, I really enjoyed our pizza party the other day. It was really good, but we can't have Russians on the card. That's impossible. Because me and Vladimir, we're on bad terms right now. He's not my friend. He's not invited to my birthday party. He's really not. And I just shit my pants live on television. But man, I don't understand this. But even still, I don't even understand why we're even got. I genuinely, with everything that's going on currently, I would not be surprised if this White House card doesn't happen. I can see Trump being impeached or something before June even comes around, and then they just don't bother because it's just messy. All right, the White House at the moment, the government over there, it's a mess. I don't think they're going to be prioritizing a White House UFC fight card. I would not be surprised if this doesn't even go ahead. To be honest, I hope it doesn't. And I know it's like, well, you just don't care about fun. You don't care about fun? You don't want a fun White House card? No. I kind of like have my morals set with or it goes like having fun is like down here compared to like, you know, the Epstein files. And, you know, that's kind of more important than having fun at the White House. You know what I mean? Pedo Island, having fun at the White House. I don't really give a fuck if we don't go to the White House, but we stack the card anyway for the 250th anniversary of America. I won't be surprised if it doesn't happen. I don't think we should go there. Trump does not deserve a White House card after all the shit that's come out about. I mean, look, I'm not going to get into it. You know what I'm on about, though. You know what I'm on about, bro. Like, Dana White just sees money. Money. Also, I wanted to say about money. I forgot to bring it up. 6 or 7 fights on the White House card. They're not doing any ticket sales. The UFC are funding the entire thing. They're not going to want to pay for 26 fighters, potentially. They're going to want to cut that shit in half to 12. They are going to want to save as much money as they possibly can because they are funding the entire project. No ticket sales or anything because they're all just being handed out to like rich people. So that's maybe why there's also less fights on the card to save a bit of money because, you know, 7.7 billion, God forbid they actually pay fighters to fight. You know what I mean? God, crazy take. Anyway, like, subscribe. My links are down below. Become a member, join the Discord. Until next time, I'll see you in a bit. Goodbye.